Cooper's a year old, and he's my first impression. I've only been around him for about a minute or two now. It's a lot to take in. So I was sitting in this quiet room, as you can hear Jesse sleeping. Reagan's just chilling. The fire's going. I'm playing guitar. It's a lovely morning. I have my coffee. I'm feeling good. Cooper enters the room, and the entire energy changes. Very anxious, very whiny, very crawling out of his own skin, trying to like paw at the doors, and very, very stressful. And I'm a minute in, and I'm already feeling his energy impact me, in a negative way, bring stress into my day. I couldn't even imagine living with that going on 24/7, as they described. So what we're going to do is I think he's going to be a good example of how this program, will help him relax, and he'll understand his role amongst humans. And that's really what we do. We teach these dogs how to live with the modern day family, whether that is you living in the city or you're living on a farm in the country. Either way, they need to be able to be polite and understand what's expected of them, and self-regulate their mind and their actions. So to say it really blunt and short, we're going to develop him into an adult while he's here. At least head him in the right direction to become mature and more experienced and more educated with living with humans before he goes back home. Most importantly, though, we're going to have him all of his training on the e-collar so that the owners will actually have a way to hold him accountable to comply to the commands and to make sure that his mind's always in a good place when needed. So it's pretty bulletproof as long as everybody does the work. So Cooper, as you can see, he's pretty concerned. He's in a new place. His pack just left, and now he put himself in the corner here, and he just kind of is panting, and maybe looks like he's waiting for his owner to come back, possibly. But my point is that stressed. Boom. I want to talk about stress. I've been talking about it a lot lately. What we need to teach a dog in their youth, before they become an adult, is how to cope with mild stress, at least, to pretty average stress. Owners leaving can be a bit of a stressful situation. Having to wait for food can be stressful. Not being able to go after the cat or the squirrel can be stressful. We teach a dog how to cope. As you can see, he doesn't have that yet, that coping mechanism, right? He doesn't understand how to just wait and relax until the human comes and tells him it's time to do the next thing. This dog knows how to do that. Now let me tell you something. He would really like to be on a hiking trail right now, but he's not complaining about it. He's just waiting. He's just waiting, because eventually somebody, me or Julie, will come to him and say it's time to go do something. Now, he doesn't know how to live like that. He doesn't know how to go do something with a human, come back, relax, and wait for the next thing. For the human to say when it's the next thing. So we're going to introduce him to that lifestyle, that permission-based lifestyle, where the human is planning out the day for him, telling him when, where, and how. That's going to take stress off from him. The reason why he's stressed is because in his head, there's options. That door could open at any second. My owners could come back. What's over here? What's that? Too many things in his head, too many options. When the dog learns that the human's going to be calling the shots, they just take the command that they're given, and they don't think that there's anything else that's an option. They don't think it's an option, so therefore there's no stress. The example I use for this, even on the mildest degree of stress, I'm talking like I'm just slightly stressed, is trying to sit down and pick out a movie on Netflix. There's too many options. So you're sitting here like, ooh, this one looks good. Ooh, what about this one? Ooh, what about this one? Next thing you know, you are 20 minutes in, you haven't picked a movie, and you're feeling a little anxious because there's too many options. We're gonna narrow the options for the dog to the point where if we give a command, there is no other option. And that, believe it or not, over time, the period of a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, you just see this. You say down and that's what you get. A dog who's he literally does not believe there's any other option until I say, break, let's go for a hike, or let's go play. He just waiting. So when we talk about bratty dogs, I'm putting that in air quotes, I don't know why. That's usually a dog who has a lot of options on a daily basis, and if I bark at you, if I bark at my owner, they're going to list off 3 to 5 different things I could be doing. right? If I'm like, they're like, what do you want, a treat? Nope. The ball? Nope. You want to go outside? Yeah, that one. So you just become a source of, you just become a dispenser of resources, right? And the dog has options. They get to decide what they want to do when they want to do it. That changes here in this training. We teach a dog to follow a human's lead and to make their decisions, the best decision they can possibly make based off from the current circumstances and their idea of what the human might want, okay? So all this little whining and stuff, which is not as huge of a deal as what he was doing when he first got here, but it's still the same root problem, which is a dog who's impatient and who is used to being able to move freely, do things that he wants whenever he wants them, and also demand his humans to get their pair of thumbs around that door and open it up for him, right? So a dog who's used to having that much influence over his environment can find it stressful as soon as they're in an environment where they're not able to influence the humans or the other dogs or the environment at all. They're just simply going to become followers. And that can be stressful in the beginning, but then the magic of all this is that in the end, the dog is less stressed, more happy, and more balanced. That's the thing. First thing I'm going to do with a dog like him is I want him to realize that I'm involved in the decision making, right? I'm relevant, and that he might want to pay attention to me in order to figure out how things work around here, because he's new around here and I'm not, okay? So I know he wants to go out this door, it's pretty obvious. That's where he's hugging himself up there. If I open this, he's gonna try to get out. He fought like the dickens to not come in. You know, you've seen the whole, right? Which is all, again, what we talk about when we say a bratty dog or a stubborn dog, or whatever terminology we want to use. It's when the dog says, I don't want to do this, and you're saying, I want you to do this. That is the conflict between owner and dog. That's what we see on a daily basis. It doesn't matter what the fight's over. What matters is that the dog's given you an attitude to begin with. They shouldn't be. They should be just listening. Okay? All of this is he's letting his mind worry about getting outside. Oh, I'm so stressed about it. That's what that whining is, okay? Or what we like to say is complaining. If a dog's on a bed and they start whining, they're complaining about the current circumstances. I'd rather be in Hawaii with, you know, what do they drink in Hawaii? Margaritas?
Corona?
I was gonna say Corona. A margarita, you know, on the beach, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. So we correct all that stuff eventually. Right now, I'm not worried about it because I haven't even got to know him yet. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna open the door. He's gonna try to go out, and I'm gonna teach him a thing about permission by saying, no. As soon as he starts to leave the house, I'm gonna say no, and I'm going to turn on the e-collar and slowly dial up until I find a number where he says, what is that? And then I'm gonna guide him back in and turn it off so that he learns that there's rules. The first thing he's gonna learn at Julius Canine Academy is that you can't just do what you want whenever you want on impulse. You have to think. So we're gonna create a thinking dog. Okay. I don't know how he's gonna react to me or anything, guys. I never do. With any of these dogs that come in here. But I have a good hunch that he's gonna try to go out this door. Before he goes, I want to make sure that we have a decent connection on the e-collar so we're not fussing. With this experience, everything we do is that we're trying to give the dog an experience so that they can come to their own conclusion about how things work around here. What's wrong, Jules? Getting a little impatient?
Oh, my knee locked.
I was just asking. I didn't mean to.
No, my knee locked and I needed to stretch it out.
All right, here we go. Now that we got the collar fixed, here we go. First experience that we're having here. Notice, whenever I'm trying to set up an experience, I'm ahead of the dog. Mentally, physically, I got the leash on him, I got the e-collar on him. I'm in control of when the door opens. This isn't just randomly happening and me trying to catch up to the experience. I am setting it up. The dog doesn't know it. Okay, you see us do that a lot. I'm starting on a 10 because that's mild. And then I'll work my way up from there because I don't know what his numbers are like. Okay? Now I'm going to let him make the mistake. That way he learns that it is a mistake. No. Okay, I took that 10 to the 15. Simple as that, okay? And now look. Okay, so now the next step is to teach him that you can go out the door, but only when I say. And that's the first conversation he's having with me, which changes the way he views me. It gives me trust because I helped him solve a problem, and it gives me respect because I'm in control of the situation. And now his relationship to me, the dynamic we have is trust and respect. Off from 30 seconds to 2-minute experience. And then we just build on that. All right, now we have a different thought. He's gonna learn soon that I'm the answer to help him through. And that'll start building a good relationship for us here. A dog who sees an open door and thinks that they can just go at it, that's a problem. Obviously, you see Riggins there. He never even once thought it was an option to come out this door, even though, just because that opens. If your dog thinks just because that door opens that it's an opportunity for them to go out, you have work to do. As far as it goes with the way your dog views your house, their life, and you. Break.